Thank you, Senator Murray, and thank you all for being here today. I'm here this morning because this Supreme Court fight will define our country's future. It will decide the rights that we and our children will have for generations to come. I am someone who depended on Planned Parenthood when I was in college for basic checkups. I needed a checkup in order to get a job, and I had no money, and that's where I went, and Planned Parenthood was there for me. I'm also a mother who, for years, in fact, over a decade, struggled with infertility as a result, in part, of my military service, and was able to conceive my two children only via IVF. The protections under Roe v. Wade, have allowed us to reject things such as personhood amendments, which would make IVF illegal. Personhood amendments have been defeated time and again because of the protections afforded under Roe v. Wade. So Roe v. Wade, yes, it is about a woman's right to control and to have access safe and legal abortions, but it is also about my right to have my children, to be able to grow my family. And my own fertility doctor said, if Roe v. Wade were overturned and those protections were no longer there, then the simple act of implanting fertilized embryos could be considered manslaughter, knowing that some of those embryos would not take and that they could not do their jobs as fertility doctors. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about a woman's right to control her body, make medical decisions with her doctors, and do what is right for her and her family under her own decisions and with her own religious traditions. And so this fight over the Supreme Court, yes, it is about access to abortion, but it is about so much more as well. I'm also a woman of color and with several pre-existing conditions at that, which means I'm exactly the kind of person whose health, period, would be on the line if Brett Kavanaugh is confirmed to the Supreme Court. The Trump administration has already said that they will not defend against attempts to overturn the Affordable Care Act. There are lawsuits all around the country, one in Texas, that are going after the Affordable Care Act, and Justice Kavanaugh has also come out and said that he, in some of his decisions, he has supported overturning pieces of legislation that would then lead to the downfall of the Affordable Care Act. We can't go back. We cannot go back to the days when a woman is criminalized for making decisions about her own bodies. We cannot go back to the days when insurance companies can come between you and your health care, you and your asthma inhaler if you need it, you and your chemo medicine if you need it, whatever that is that you need for your health. And we certainly cannot go back to the days when being a woman was a pre-existing condition. And so this fight is critically important, and people need to understand that this man, who, by the way, has a history of writing numerous amounts of documents about his very extreme activist far-right positions, he could himself say, let's release all these documents, but he has not done that. He's hiding behind the White House. He is hiding behind Chuck Grassley. He is hiding behind Senate Republicans, and he himself could actually say, you know what? Let's let everybody take a look at it, and he's not even doing that. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the hundreds and thousands and millions of women across this country for whom the future hangs in the balance with whether or not this man gets on the Supreme Court.